At the AI Readiness Project, we believe that in this remarkable age, AI isn't the main character. You are. While the tech is racing ahead, it's the humans who learn to harness AI mindfully that will win. Each week, we meet remarkable people doing just that. Join Kyle Shannon, tech leader and AI instigator, and Anne Murphy, fundraiser and AI consultant, as they lead the conversation about staying grounded, growing smarter, and leading with what makes us human.
Oh, yeah. Look at that hair. What have you done? Normally you're here you're a baseball cap. You've got it all hidden. You're hiding it from us. You've gone.
Everyone.
It is stunning.
It is a national treasure.
It is. You are a national treasure. The hair just goes along for the ride.
There we go. This is what I very humbly tell my hairdresser and my colorist. I just grow it. That's all I do. I just grow the hair.
Exactly. That's your job. And carry it. You do have to carry it.
I do have to carry it. That is true.
You're carrying it quite well.
And it is a burden. I mean, it is a heavy crown to wear.
I will admit, and this is probably a little embarrassing, I do not have a colorist. Which is hence the situation.
Yeah, but your salt and pepper it's a good salt and pepper.
Yeah, I'm getting it. That's it. My wife always says it's just not fair that, as men get older, they get, she likes it. Whatever. It's good. She's happy.
All good. What have you been up to?
We're here. We're talking about, this is AI readiness. We're talking about fashion readiness or
I forgot.
but AI readiness. So I know that you have been hot and heavy deep into the Claude Code world. You've launched a new thing. So last time we were here, you were launching a new thing. You're very excited about it.
Yes.
Is it launched? Tell the story of your life.
So I'm gonna hit on some key points that I think are unique and potentially interesting to the audience.
Okay.
Number one, last week we talked about 𝙗𝙗𝙚𝙀𝙗, our totally disruptive nonprofit technology. And we're just waiting for our first contract to be signed, and it's going to happen any day. And then we're going to launch, and we're going to have a big event, and everyone's invited, and we'll unveil, and we will sign up new customers.
Okay.
So that's happening in potentially. Well, I'm not going to tell.
Okay.
And then what's happening now is, in addition to that, is that we've been building the world's first matriarchal agentic business.
World's first matriarchal agentic business. Okay. Got it.
Company.
I mean, I have the words. Okay.
Those are the words. So I don't know if it was last week or the week before when I told everybody about how I stepped on my laptop and I lost my whole agentic company. Well, I rebuilt it from the ashes, or from wherever. We don't even know. From wherever it is, somewhere in God's green earth. You
didn't restore it. You've recreated from what you learned.
Yeah, I recreated it from my brain, but working with other women. And so it was like, all right, how can we do this better? How can we bring in all the things that Beth has taught us about compound engineering? That's how we make our compound engineering skill. It's how Beth taught us to do it, not how
that's cool.
The repo over there told us to do it, right?
Not just pull it from
right. And I thought, I've got a couple hundred hours of recordings of women talking about what they need in their tech and in their businesses. And so we're infusing everything with it being a matriarch. Thank you, Silver Fox. And so I'm writing a story about it along the way.
Cool.
Because of course, as you are aware, we're simultaneously converting to Claude Code in our company, which is also my household.
So wait, just to be clear, 𝙗𝙗𝙚𝙀𝙗𝙀 is a new business. Mm-hmm. Matriarchal agentic company on a chip is another business, and then you're converting your business to full AI control.
Full AI control, yes.
Claude Code.
Yeah.
And you're still married.
Barely.
And you're doing this with your
Well,
spouse.
this is the only reason why I say barely, and a fair number of people in the audience know him. So I mean, he's a lamb. He's a lamb. But Don Wackerly does not like Claude Code right now. We are in the bad phase. Oh yes.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Is it misbehaving for him?
It's doing all the dumb things that it does, but unlike some of us, Don has never seen like that, like tantalizing, thing that a Claude Code or an OpenClaw or whatever can do. He's like, it's just not like nothing good is really happening.
So wait, so he never had his Kevin McAllister moment with Claude Code. He's just configuring it.
He's just trying to make it work, and it's not working.
That's
the deep dark place.
It's a deep dark place.
One of the chapters of my book is called "Let's Just Burn the Freaking House Down Instead of Learning Claude Code." That's a chapter because he did not say freaking. He was
fully expressed.
He was the fully expressed version of that. Yeah, I mean, who would have thought that Claude Code would be the hardest part of being married to your business partner?
Wow.
Claude freaking Code.
Claude freaking
Anthropic.
Code. Darn house. The
Get
darn
better.
house.
Faster. Darn house. Yeah.
Darn house.
Exactly. So that's me. How about you? Or thoughts on my circumstances?
Well, thoughts on your circumstances. I mean, more power to you running a business with your spouse. I've tried to do that before. We have an agreement now. We don't do that anymore. It is a laudable enterprise, and in your case, laudable. Triple enterprises. That's really cool. I mean, the only advice would be, I think for both of you, the thing that we already know, which is probably not going to make him happy, is that anything that he's struggling with right now will probably be irrelevant in 3 months anyway. There will be some other thing. But as I always say, what you learn in the journey means that whenever the new thing comes that's easier, you'll know exactly what to do with it. So I don't think this is wasted effort. And the madness right now is madness.
It's maddening.
Yeah, it's really maddening. I mean, the problem with everything right now is that the core frontier models are still just not quite there.
Yep.
They're not quite good at writing. They're not quite good at marketing. They're pretty good at coding, but even there, they're confused at best. These agentic things like Claude Code and OpenClaw and Hermes and all of those sort of things are nearly awesome. Like everything is nearly awesome. And so I think that there's an expectation that they're awesome. Yeah. And therein lies the rub. Yep. Whatever your gap of expectation of awesomeness is to where they really are, that is so frustrating. And so I think it's going to get better. I mean, it is rumored that this week or next, we'll see new versions of Opus, which we may or may not, but a ChatGPT 5.5, which is apparently supposed to be quite good. But we'll see. Is it going to change things, or is it just going to be like another ratchet up in nearly awesome?
Nearly awesome.
Yeah.
Well, listen to this little happy horse shit that I tried to sell everybody, which is that the great thing about Claude Code is that you just start planning really far in advance now. It's just so cool how the technology has supported us in planning so far in advance, because you have to plan forever in advance because nothing freaking works. And I'm like acting like it's a feature, not a bug. I'm like, oh, that's so great because we have this deliverable on next Monday. Start now. Yeah. We've got 6 days.
Well, I'll tell you. So let me share something with you that is something that has come up in my conversations over the past 2 weeks, and that is that I'm starting to see people that are using AI a lot level up to what I'm considering like 2.0 level behavior. There's like AI 1.0 behavior and AI 2.0 behavior. AI 2.0 behavior starts to look like this. Oh, AI is actually really not good at X. So I'm just going to do X on my own. And so like I'm starting to see people get much more sophisticated about, okay, I will absolutely use AI here. I may or may not use it here, and I will definitely not use it here. That idea of chain of craft and pulling a lot of the chain of craft out of the digital realm and either going back to full analog or just going to like, I'm just going to write this in Microsoft Word or whatever it is, right? Google Docs, and not use any AI, because it's just, it gives you a false sense of completion. And you may look on the surface like you're 90% done, and then you realize through 6 hours of work that you were only 40% done. And that's maddening. So you might as well just, instead of doing 6 hours of undoing, just take the 4 hours it would have taken you to do it for real anyway. So that I'm starting to see. And I think that's very healthy, right? I think that's that, you know, I guess what it looks like is people are reclaiming their agency. They're not treating AI as this genius that's going to do all the stuff for them. They're saying, okay, it's a component in a mix. You know?
Hey, you want to, along these lines, so the human AI interaction. So I did a test because I'm putting all of my like fundraising content into a little, you know, area, a professor or something like that, or maybe it's just a resource for me, maybe it's for my clients, I don't know, but I wanted to test it. And so I took all of my files, I anonymized my files for a client, everything we had done for a whole big campaign. And I used some of my other templates from other things that I've done throughout my life, mushed it together, ran it through, you know, my fundraising brain, and created a plan that I could compare to the plan that was my deliverable for the engagement. I mean, obviously this story writes itself. My deliverable was amazing for that campaign. I loved it. It worked. We were happy and everything. Yet objectively, in terms of like excellence, what AI and I made together was objectively much better.
Really?
Much better. In fact, I am sending two people to review and tell me, if you receive this from me, what would you think?
And better in what way? Like what leveled it up? And I also want to hear about your process about, because I assume it wasn't just stick it in Claude Code and squirt out a thing, right? It was probably lots and lots of iterations. So I just want to hear about that process. But why is it better first?
Why is it? So a couple of things that make it better is that if I'm working on a report, let's say I'm working on a feasibility study, and I can say, here are 5 or 6 narratives that came up again and again and again. Very, very helpful. But you know what's a little bit more helpful is to have like database storytelling for them to click to and see a head start on their next grant application. That's just better. It's not me saying, I'm your consultant. Here you go. You need to tell stories about social justice and open space, intersection with racism. Go. It's like, yeah, you need to tell this story like this. And here's 3 examples, or here's 3 things that you can go with. That's, for me, that's a biggie.
Oh, so it's like AI's in the mix, augmenting, bringing to. That's really good, because what that allows you to do is scale you, right?
Scale me.
Because before
I'm not writing
you had to be that voice, right?
Yep.
They'd say, well, what does that actually mean? You'd be like, well, let me get back to you. Let me write some things up. Let me go find a story like that. Now it's just like there.
It's there. And then if they discover through that process that what they really want to do is more storytelling, now we've had a little discovery moment in our relationship. They're like, ooh, you guys do stories the way that we want to do them. And I'm like, okay, cool. I could write a lot of good stories with everything that I know.
That's when you introduce them to Storyvine.
That's when I talk to them about Storyvine. I'm like, you know what?
You got to build that into your tool, that the answer to every story question is Storyvine. And it just links right over with your affiliate link.
So that's, an example of what makes it better.
That's really cool.
And then
what was the process like? Like, how long did it take you? And where did AI do the heavy lifting? Where did you do the heavy lifting?
Gathering everything up and indexing. That's not possible for me. Doesn't matter. You could, no can-do'sville, as we say.
Oh, for you, yeah.
So having Claude Code or Manus or Perplexity or Comet or whatever, like, go into all of my things. I created all these research agents for them to just like go into all the nooks and crannies of my world and bring things back together and make them make sense as like sum is bigger than the whole of the parts thing. And then pull some stuff from outside. So I created a really great database of like things I believe, things that I know, things that I've conveyed to people before, like totally approved everything. I kind of liken it to like, imagine we were all members of a weird crow nation, and we're just crows going around picking up the little sparkly things and bringing them back to our context. So we want our context to have the best stuff. They don't want any junk. So that's a big, huge piece of it. And upon that, I can build an interface, right, that allows access to all of that and not to anything else that would interfere with my way of doing a feasibility study.
That's really cool. Have you put a bunch of that stuff into Notebook LM and played with it?
It's like, very much like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's similar to that.
Notebook LM made me smart again because I can see things instead of reading.
Yeah.
Hi, Gareth.
Hey, Gareth, what's happening, dude?
I owe Gareth an email or a DM or maybe both.
Wow.
Just so everybody knows.
All right, you are officially on notice. You're officially taking responsibility. This is what part of my life's work is figuring out how to get back to people in a timely manner. So,
I have something for that.
Okay, good. Yes, I'll take anything. Because I'm really bad.
So I have a skill. His name is Romy.
Okay.
Romy, like Rome, romance, kind of like. Romy is his one and only job is to see how behind schedule we are with the people who we love the most, our collaborators, our friends. He goes through everything and every morning lets me know, hey, here's where you're not getting back to somebody, and it kind of sucks that you're doing that.
That would be I'll take that. I'll take one of those.
I'll give you a Romy.
Yeah,
I'll give you a Romy.
Just tell me where to put him and what to do.
I would love someone else to remind me of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I totally know what you mean. I know what you mean in a deep and visceral way. That's really good. That's really, really good.
That's a lot about me, Kyle. Please tell all of us how you are.
I'm good. I'm doing a lot of speaking. So I spoke Monday in Boulder on radical self-expression, and basically the idea that our job now is just to have ideas, and if you get curious with AI and you understand all of what's possible, you can have an idea and you can express it in way more ways than you could have historically, and that people seem to enjoy that. And then right after this conversation today, I am on a panel with for the Themed Entertainment Association. So basically theme park designers, and I'm going to get to show them Sydney, my musical, and talk about how I created that in this kind of radical self-expression kind of way. And then next week I'm in DC for an AI Salon fly-in. I'm in Boston for an innovation summit talking about the Great Repurpose. And then the following week I'm at Social Media Marketing World talking about AI readiness, embracing AI readiness as a basically career extender.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
I am busy boy.
These people are lucky. They get to hear from you and see you and meet you. It's awesome. Good job.
Some of the Kyle magic. I'm trying to get myself to state treasure. Maybe at some point national treasure.
Level. Oof,
state level treasure first. But I got to up the hair game. Oh man. Well, so I want to get Sumin up here. I'm really excited. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. Let me just tell you about the AI Salon. If you've not joined the AI Salon, please go to thesalon.ai. Check us out. The Salon has been around since the week ChatGPT came out, and is really a place for us to be humans first and talk about AI as an amplifier of our ideas rather than, the replacer of our ideas. And I deeply believe in that. The more I use it, the more I think about it that way, the more it is. Within the Salon, we have the AI Salon Mastermind, and we just kicked off a series that Andy Scarantino is teaching about separating your identity from your work, as all of our work is about to shift. All of our identities are about to be borked. So there's just all sorts of really amazing stuff and amazing people there. So go check out the AI Salon.
Really, really good people. I'm so happy to see what you all are offering now. This is good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yep.
Oh boy, She Leads AI. One of the things that we do is we have an in-person conference, and we have been reviewing, a group of us have been reviewing all of the speaker applications this year, and absolutely incredible. The breadth and the quirkiness as well, and just the totally different points of view on AI and the future. I feel I can read 10 or 20 before my brain is just so stimulated because of the we just hang around with some really freaking smart people, Kyle. Very, very smart, very creative people who can package their ideas up in a way that makes it irresistible. You're I think we're down to 75 people for a couple of spots that are left. I mean, we started with 200, and I want to take everyone.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
So we're an in-person conference, and we gather also. We have a free gathering every Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon Pacific time. It's Social Saturdays. We have 1 or 2 experts come in and teach us from their zone of genius. And then we have a membership program, and we have our cohorts where we certify AI educators. We have an incubator for AI consultants, and we're working on launching a certified AI officer program soon.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yep. Super excited.
So go check out She Leads AI. Next, we're going to bring up Sumin Chou. He is someone that I know from many years ago. I knew Sumin when he was just the little brother of someone that worked at agency.com, and he has since gone on, and he is with Schema Design. He's one of my favorite people in the world. So I'm really excited to bring Sumin up. Sumin, hello.
Hi. Nice to see you.
Sumin.
It's so good.
That's high praise. That's high praise.
He's a cool dude, man. He's a cool dude. So why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what you're up to, and then let's dig in. Let's open up the conversation.
I was thinking back to how long ago I've known you, Kyle. I think it was embarrassed to say the late 90s, mid to late 90s.
I think it was 97, 98, probably 98. But somewhere back there, yeah.
And then, starting at Time Inc., I think you and Chan had these parties at Time Inc. with Vibe Online, and then also working with you at agency.com was great times. So, but and then fishing together in the Bahamas as well.
Oh yeah, that was pretty amazing.
That sounds fun. I'm gonna go fishing in the Bahamas right now.
Yeah, me too.
Well, wait. So I got it. So funny story about fishing in the Bahamas. So, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a trash talker, and so So we're getting ready to go out fishing in the Bahamas, and I'm like making fun of everyone about how seasick they're all going to get. And then so we get out there on the we're trolling, and we've got following seas, and I don't know if you know following seas, but they make you really sick. And so I got seasick, and so I secretly, no one was around me, so I secretly just, right over the side. And then I thought I got away with it, and the captain of the boat goes, "Yeah, it looks like someone lost it." And I was like looking around like, who? And meanwhile, I was like, I admitted it after the fact, but that was pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So tell us about your background, what you're up to.
Yeah. So starting way back in college, I was studying studio art and art history. I actually, right after college, I was teaching at the Brooklyn Museum, teaching art and giving studio tours, planning to go to graduate art school. And then I just sort of fell into computers and design specifically. But one of the things that I sort of credit to my interest in hypermedia and the internet was I was teaching, I would take little kids around and we'd have a blast. We'd go on these treasure hunts and these are like 5- and 6-year-old kids. And I'd say, we're going to go on a visual treasure hunt to find all the triangles we can in the museum. And so we'd run around the Egyptian gallery and find triangles there and go to the contemporary gallery upstairs. And it created these kind of linkages in concepts that were so resonant with the kids and also the parents that were coming along. And they actually advocated for adult tours as well. But to me, it was so powerful that you could basically break through these walls where, why is the Egyptian gallery separated from the African gallery? You could kind of break those traditional barriers down and create linkages. And that was just, for me, the web was still just starting, but, the power of a hyperlink to connect one page or a concept from one idea to another was incredibly powerful. And so
simple and so powerful, right?
Yeah. And so that got me really into interactive media. And, we had really very simple tools. And, Kyle, I'm sure you remember these experiences were very basic and fundamentally it was about just when we were working at Time Inc. was about scraping the Time Inc. Content and basically putting it up in very simple web pages, right? And I would actually argue that kind of continued for a long time, probably longer than it should have. And I think really, when ChatGPT came out, it really kind of like made this moment where we had to really rethink digital experiences. And so I think, it's been exciting, but also really kind of questioning everything that, what does it mean to be a designer? What does a website mean? What is it for? All these fundamental existential questions have surfaced. So I feel like I'm deep in the weeds of trying to figure that out.
Can you talk a little bit about schema design and sort of what you were doing traditionally, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah,
in the olden-timey days.
So from Time Inc. to, and so I was at Pathfinder, which was one of the first corporate websites online, and then to agency.com and, working with Kyle and working on British Airways and some, really interesting client accounts. And then I was also working at later several digital agencies, then became design director at the New York Times, which I learned so much. Then I, after the Times, formed my own little design studio called Concentric. And during the pandemic, things were like collapsing. And I got an RFP, and it was both data visualization and sort of traditional content website design. And I reached out to Christian Schmidt, who had founded Schema. He and I had worked together. He was my design intern at the New York Times, and I knew he was like the big things.
Amazing.
He was at IDEO and then moved to Microsoft, and so we worked on this partnership on this project, and we just decided that the future really was going to be these content and data rich experiences. And so I joined Schema, I guess now close to 5 years ago, and we've been doing really fascinating projects that are, really data-driven experiences. And, I think with AI, so much is even more so now all about the data. Once you have that data, how do you express it? And so that's sort of where we are today, is trying to still define how we can create interfaces that really help users access large data sets.
Is that when you say a rich data driven experience, what is the experience that you're trying to design?
Yeah, it can run a large gamut. We do large conferences, data visualizations, for example, for Bloomberg, the NES conference, for several years. And so these are kind of the backdrops for major conferences, and we've done that for some financial clients as well. Also, just on the back end side, we did a project for the New York Times as well on their advertising platform as well, and some other things. So, it's all about just sort of being able to kind of manage data and sort of controlling how you see it to kind of get deeper insights as well.
Cool.
Super cool. Anne earlier was talking about the idea of, taking this work she had done before and, being able to first organize it in a way that she couldn't normally, right? Or just, with standard tools, and then coming up with a new improved version of this. Like, what's been your experience? Is AI making things easier? Is it making new things possible? Is it you get to 80% and think you've solved it, and then you realize you're not even at the start line anymore, that it's totally screwed everything up? Like, talk about your experience of, like, where are you on the AI love it, hate it?
Yeah, I mean, I think all of the above that you mentioned. We're designing or building this experience for a client, and they were seeing Figma static screens of what's intended to be a dynamic parallax experience. And Figma, for all its prototyping and even Figma Make, it just doesn't sort of translate how the experience would work in full motion as a coded prototype. And I just decided, I was like, oh, what if I can Claude code at least like how we could set up a framework for the parallax experience.
How the animation might work, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it created a incredible, widget tool where it said, oh, each of the layers. So it showed the parallax showing different layers with sliders. So I could perfectly, slow down or increase the speed of layers. The client could understand how parallax motion works, where you're basically having different layers of content or images go by at different rates of speed to get that effect, but to fine tune it as well to get that magical experience, that kind of cinematic quality is, they had the ability to kind of see how that all could work together and we could fine tune it. So that was just a moment where it's like, oh, there's this like little piece in the workflow that AI totally solved for us, and I just extrapolate that to how can we apply this to all these different areas. So that's really exciting. And yeah, I don't know where it's going to go, but yeah. I'm definitely in that pathway right now. Yeah.
So in that case, it lived as effectively a prototyping demo for something you were building. Did you end up incorporating that into the site in any way, or did it just live as this standalone thing? And
yeah, I mean, to get it to production code is not as big a leap. We have from that, like we can fine tune all the timing sequences. The client can think about, oh, okay, we're going to have fundamentally like 4 or 5 different layers. We can think about the content flow of assigning some images maybe that are the background layer, and then foreground images that are featured. And so that affects upstream sort of their content delivery to think about how that's going to go into the template as well. And then we can take all of the settings that we fine tune and build that into the actual production code as well. So and kind of just from that little sequence, think about, oh, how do we expand that to deploy it? So that was just incredible, because otherwise traditionally it would take so long to do that, and just the ability to shortcut that workflow is great.
What are some of the trends you're paying attention to, or some of the, I don't know how you are about tools. Kyle and I have kind of gone back and forth over the last few years about whether we care about the tools, whether the tools are in charge of us, or whether it's a combination of the two. So can you talk a little bit about trends or tools you're especially enthused about from your point of view?
Yeah, I've been working, and we have on our Schema website, we have a separate lab section. So we do these little prototypes, experiments. We've done some Apple Vision Pro experiments that we posted. But I'm still working on a knowledge graph where, using vector search, we can sort of find concepts or ideas in a data set that are basically of like compelling interest. And then what I want to do is figure out an interface where you can select a couple of those ideas or nodes and synthesize understanding around those. And so that's something that I'm working on and hoping to share at some point. But
that's very cool. I think, yeah, anything that can help people understand how this stuff works. And
exactly. I mean, I think that's where I'm really excited, is less like the workflow efficiency to me, but what if we can create tools that give people a deeper meaning or insight? And so I don't know if that's a trend, but that's something I'm interested in. Yeah.
There's something that I mentioned it a bit before, that people are sort of choosing when to use AI, when not to use AI. A good buddy of mine, Kevin Clark, created what he called slow AI, which was he basically did a prompt so that whenever the AI got to a decision point where it had 5 or more choices, he asked it to display those choices. So he was introduced, and then he would choose which of the 5, and then it would get to another decision point and show him another 5. And so he was introducing friction into the system.
Yeah.
And I think that you come from a traditional art background. The AI is largely a friction-free environment, which is part of what makes it so addictive and exciting and fun. And part of the genius of humans is the moments of friction, right? And it's like, I'm curious, like, where's your relationship with, because you've always been digital, right? But you also have this traditional background, and you appreciate being in the museum and walking from, one room to another. Can you just talk about your relationship with the speed of AI?
That's a really good question. I think that's been, and I think we were talking about it before, this idea of a journey that is so fast, because I've learned so much, but it also just brings up lots of questions. And I think this is a fundamental question of what is everyone's relationship with AI? And, I think there are people that are really averse to using AI, and that's okay too. I'm sort of coming in with it with a little bit of skepticism. There's some people that are just like gung ho, and they're trying to figure out also, like, what can I do to get myself out of the way so that I'm not causing friction, right? And
right.
Interesting path too.
Yeah.
But I think everyone's own experience and use is fascinating. And yeah, I mean, it could be just like a personal AI relationship. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just a different thing. When you do it, when you choose to add friction in a frictionless environment, is actually a really fascinating choice.
One of our friends, Beth Lyons, talks a lot about how the work in front of us is not helping AI understand the context that a lot of people are talking about and like how to navigate all that better. It's every bit that you can get it to be smarter about how to work with us as individuals. Like, that's how we're actually going to have our moats, for one thing. I can really relate to this idea of what Kevin's saying with the, slow decision making, and had put a couple of different friction points for my stuff as well. Like, it has to pass these three things because of the thing that you and I have talked about so often, Kyle, with people like us who have lots and lots and lots of ideas. Sometimes we don't have a ton of respect for our own ideas because we know there's going to be another one right around the corner. On the other hand, we also know that there are some gems in there. So
some of them are good. Some of them are worth keeping.
Some of them are worth it. So some of them are worth the friction point of, is this something aligned with who I want to be when I grow up? Is this something that helps me, whatever, this, that, and the other? Or is it just some freaking rabbit hole that isn't going to help me? And I'm going to wake up in 3 days, as you've seen, Kyle, and, only be able to wear a baseball hat for 4 days while I fall asleep on the desk. So that, I love the friction piece of it. I think it's healthy. And I think we're really going to notice what it's like to be out in the world when we haven't had a lot of friction,
No, I think so too. I think there's also just the amygdala, like that speed of, sort of endorphin pumping, like you just going. It's frying a lot of brains. In fact, I think there are some open claw people on Twitter that are changing their sleep schedules so they can manage their agents 24/7. They're sleeping in 4-hour stints so they can wake up and manage their agents. It's like, that ain't sustainable. So like, it's, Sumin, I want to ask you about, as someone with a traditional art background, I know you're a fan of digital. I know you're embracing AI, and I'm curious, do you have any boundaries around, generative AI for art? What are your thoughts on it? I know there's, ethical quandaries and quagmires and black holes and gray areas. I'm just curious, what's your philosophy on the new tools, where those boundaries are?
Yeah. So that was one of the first questions I tried to answer for myself. And so when ChatGPT first came out, I created my own GPT, which was a drawing tool. And I was basically prompting it to create these, what I called wireframe sketches. And aesthetically, I was just seeing so much sort of AI imagery that to me just looked very, just not in keeping with my own aesthetic. So, so that was like one of the things. And I posted a bunch on my LinkedIn profile where I really wanted the output of these drawings to look like they were natural, hand-drawn by a human. And so I actually said, the line shouldn't be necessarily straight. It should be printed on natural linen paper and so on. And the output was actually really surprising. And so I was really interested in like, how can I kind of push AI to kind of creep into more humanistic expression. So, and that's something I'm still advocating and doing. I was just at a friend's, my friend Gary Zamchuk is a professor at Columbia University at the engineering school. And, all of his students were working on these prototype concepts using Figma Make. And one of the things and I know these were just like early concepts and prototypes, but one of the observations was that because it was primarily done through prompting and through Figma Make, the interfaces still felt like they were searching for that sort of human piece where it felt like it was designed by an AI agent, basically was communicating to another, not a human. So a lot of the experiences kind of lack that context or just that kind of feeling or expressiveness that would, I think, engage with another human. And I think that's also a challenge in what we're designing today is how do we still, design, even though we're using all these AI tools, how do we, fine tune it to kind of be engaging for humans. I mean, designing for AI agents is a whole other sort of area, but I think how do we, and that's why focusing on the brand identity, the aesthetics, that kind of traditional side is still really important to do in a way that's meaningful for humans, I think.
Okay, I have a perfect example of that. On our website, on the 𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙪 website is beautiful. It has like really bold design, and people really, really resonate with that to it. Like it boggles my mind how many people have said to me, the reason why I got involved is because of the design, of the aesthetics, the brand. Well, here's the thing. I love it too. But we have nothing, there's no SEO, there's no AEO, there's nothing, no agent, no robot, no Google, no nothing is ever going to find us on the internet. And so it keeps coming back to, well, we should just, rebuild the whole website. And I'm like, yeah, but here's the thing, right? In this case, like, let's just say zero, let's say we got zero reach via SEO or whatever that came from our website.
Right.
Enough people showed up there, the right people showed up there, right? And then those people then came into our programs already feeling connected. So it's so easy to fall into the hype. And I love nothing more than to be pitched like a solution to a problem like website schema. No, thank you. Happy to have somebody else do it. But that doesn't really solve that's only one piece of it. We have to remember, right? People are humans are humans. We need to see things.
Right. Yeah, so I'm really interested in those types of experiences or UIs that augment or help humans like reach new insights that they never could have done before. And I think that's going to change expectations for people going to websites. And I think the old websites, which I would argue haven't really changed since our early days at Time Inc., Kyle, that
they've gotten more boring and more predictable.
But now it's really like a challenge to rethink if I can do so much with Claude Code, why can't a website do that too? And and so I should expect to be able to ask questions and get insights that are really meaningful, and not just like read an article that took me 10 clicks to get to find the right article. That's still a problem. And so I think we're going to start really seeing sort of pre-AI websites versus post, and the difference is going to be really stark, if it's not already.
I'm curious. So Schema's an agency model, right? You're doing work for hire for brands and things like that.
Yeah.
Is there a tension or is there a pull to create tools? Because I feel like you're on the front end of understanding how we might interact with these more dynamic tools, probably better than most people on the planet. And it feels to me like, a seductive thought might be, hey, do we build tools to do this? Like, where's that tension? Are you happy, being a service business? Do you have aspirations for the tool? Not that one's better than the other. I'm just curious. It feels like you're set up to be able to do that. I'm curious if there's a design there.
Yeah, I mean, I think our whole model needs to change also. I think there's a very serious AI transformation going on where there's a value that we can provide, which is kind of unearthing these unique UXs and UIs and tools that really can transform a company, whether it's their internal processes or external communications, et cetera. So that's what I'm really excited about with our clients going forward. Yeah.
Beautiful. We're at that time. So we have a question that we ask all of our guests, and we'll ask you this too. And I think this is fascinating coming from you. And that is, what does AI readiness mean to you? And then, follow it up with, what would you say to someone just getting started with all this AI nonsense?
I think AI readiness means, for me at least, like embracing AI, being ready and open to AI, not being fearful. I think, and Kyle, you talked to me about this a while ago, but we're rethinking what AI means as a design agency, what it means for our capabilities and services, and so being open to that and embracing that, but steering our clients as well to all the potential is, I think, a big part of that too.
Yeah, beautiful. And what would you say to someone just getting started?
Just dive in. We're all at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh my gosh, back in those days.
It really is. Well, Sumin, I mean, like you were there at the early days of the web. I was too. Like, compare where we are now to what was going on back then.
Yeah. I mean, it feels so compressed right now. But I tell you, there's like a real messiness right now. There's a gap, which is like, I'm still working in Claude Code, and then yes, I'm sometimes like pasting council Claude Code into Figma to export. Like, it just seems like maybe I haven't like optimized my workflow, but it still seems like, there's like
this isn't you.
Okay.
This isn't you.
I have never
was going through, right? This is what Donnie's dealing with.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. I mean, I have never mapped out so many processes trying to figure out ways to, like, is this the way we're, and then you're like, no, I'll try it this way. No, I'll try it that way. No, I'll stand on my head. No, it's the day that ends in Y. It's definitely not going to work. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's hard. I think it's hard for normal everyday people.
It is. It's crazy times right now. Well, listen, Sumin, thank you for doing this. Thank you for being here.
Really great. Thank
you. Love
you.
Your brain.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this was awesome. We're cutting out a little early. I got to jump over to another talk right now. So thanks for indulging that, everybody. And Anne, thank you so much, as always.
Thank you so much. Have a great talk.
Thank you.
So good to meet you. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Cheers, everybody.
Night.